Well, it was Ajinkya Rahane who won the toss and put Punjab into bat. This is, of course, Jaipur. And it didn't begin well for Punjab. A power play that got them only 32 runs. The first 10 overs only getting them 68. But in the end, they finished with 184, thanks basically to Gale and Sarfaraz. And well, that's the long and the short of it. Hello and welcome to MPL Presents Cricbuzz Live. I'm Gaurav Kapur. With me, Mr. Simon Doull, Mr. Ajay Jadeja. Fair to say that was not a start they would have wanted, but also fair to say that that is the end they would have wanted.
Yeah, absolutely perfect. I think when we did the half time after 10 overs, we were thinking 150, maybe 155 if they could bat well. Gale was outstanding in the end. He increased his strike rate. He had a good look at the start of the innings, and towards the end just found his range a little bit more. That 79 off 47, crucial. But I think Sarfaraz was brilliant. We didn't see enough of him at Bangalore, did we? And
nobody
just didn't get the opportunities enough, or maybe we saw too much of him at Bangalore, and that's why he's not there anymore. But I thought that was a really important knock for him today, and early on in the tournament for him to step up. He's given an opportunity. We talked about the fact that maybe he's looked good in the nets, and that's why he's got the opportunity tonight, and he's paid them back already. So really impressed.
So that's the innings progression that we were talking about. Just went into top gear. And Ajay, you know, when Simon and me were on Cricbuzz Combox at the end of the 10th over, we said this pitch is not really the kind of pitch that you usually see in Jaipur. Perhaps it's stopping a little bit. But then Gale just switched gears like only Gale can do. And then the conditions don't matter.
Yeah, because, I mean, once he gets in, and because his arc is, he has a different kind of arc, and he doesn't need that pace, whereas Sarfaraz actually does. So, I mean, watching it on TV, I personally feel it's not such a bad wicket. It's come on maybe because it got a little cooler in the evening and started coming on. With Gale, this is what you get. And I think more than the impact that he gets with the runs, and I would include Sarfaraz in that as well now, that the opposition is always thinking of different things. They put you off your plan. With Gale, you see, they didn't bowl the leg spinner for a very long time. They, play with a different strategy. And as soon as Sarfaraz started going as well, you see different kinds of field. I don't know why the captains do that, because yes, Sarfaraz plays different angles, but the advantage that you have when you have players like this is that the opposition captain, if he's not one of those who's astute with the game, he gets
frazzled.
Frazzled is the right word.
Frazzled,
it's not a taboo word.
No, frazzled is not a taboo word at all.
Frazzled's good. So I think that's what happened. And Sarfaraz enjoys doing that.
Yeah.
So wicket, I don't think it's such a bad one. I think it's still a good wicket, and I will still go with him. Tapos is the best groundsman that we have in India, and he always produces the best wicket.
Well, I'll tell you why Ajay is so happy about the wicket, because it's got to the score that he guessed before, and that's why he's got the MPL Super Couch is the one he's sitting on. Do you want to give us a little Mogambo kind of finger swivel there? Oh, there you go.
Kitne banayega Gale?
Yeah.
Gale ne kar diya rail.
There's Mogambo, there's Gabbar Singh, there's everyone sort of mixed into one. But he's not the villain, he's the hero. He's the hero today because he got it right. His prediction was 180, got to 184 with that 6 in the end, which meant that there was a bit of shuffling of couches. Because we thought that Dooley had it right till that last ball, but Sarfaraz said no. As far as the bowling effort is concerned, Simon, for Rajasthan, what did they get right? What did they get wrong?
Length, and I totally agree with what Ajay just said about the captaincy of Ajinkya Rahane not bowling the leg spinner. It's a mistake. I mean, he's got a wrong in. He can take the ball away from the left-handed Gale. So tactically, I don't think they got it quite right. He's bowled 1 over for 5.
Yeah.
How's he not bowled more? Unadkat, expensive again. Gee, I mean, he's been so expensive the last couple of years, and yet he's been one of the highest paid. I think he was the highest paid Indian bowler last year.
Expensive all round.
Most expensive all round he's been. Ben Stokes, expensive again, 2 for 48. Just missing their length. I thought Kulkarni was very tidy. When he bowled his slower balls, he brought the length back of the slower ball, and therefore it was hard to get away. So what you're doing with a slower ball is you want the ball to be hit square. You don't want the opportunity to hit down the ground when you're bowling your slower ball. So hit it to the biggest sides of the ground and drag the length back a little bit, whereas Ben Stokes went a little bit full with his slower balls. The option not to bowl a leg spinner, so there were some issues there. Jofra Archer, just one bad over. one over that went for a few runs, but it was from about the 12th over onwards. When you look through the scorecard, it went for 19, then they went 11.
That was in Unadkat,
10,
wasn't it?
Yeah,
The one-
11, 10, 10, and then 20. So 5 overs in a row. That really picked things up for Punjab, and that's what allowed them to look like what was going to be a fairly mediocre score
Yeah.
to get through to that that big score of 184. And it's a really telling tale. And I think at the back end, 59 for 2 in those last few. Obviously, you're going to lose wickets, but with wickets in hand on what might not be a perfect batting surface, you can still really force the issue.
But there's the game changer, right? 7-15, where you see that 93 runs. There was 84-run partnership of 42 balls for Gale and Sarfaraz. And that kind of partnership is going to change the game, Ajay. It really will. It'll
It
change
has.
the course of your...
Yes, it has changed the course, and certainly, and they needed a course correction at that stage, because Chris Gayle, I always keep saying this, he's a double-edged sword. Because if he gets a 30, 40, 50, I think it probably works in the favor of the opposition, because he takes so long to get going. He can recover. He can recover from that stage, but others can't. With Chris Gayle, it worked perfectly with Sarfaraz, because both hate running. Listen, I mean, they're not the greatest runners. There are many ways of playing this game, and they show you another way.
Listen, running is for mortals, not for Thors.
Yes. and I think that was probably one of the troubles that Sarfaraz had at the RCB last year.
Yeah.
You have a captain who's a super fit man, who likes everybody to be super fit.
And Virat and AB love running.
So the pressure of, when you have a senior player like AB or Virat at the other end, and who wants to run and wants to be quick, and you can't do it. So you were more worried about that rather than thinking about what you're going to do while you bat.
Yeah.
Whereas here it worked perfect, because Gale man wasn't interested. He was, he's the king, so he doesn't like running, so doesn't Sarfaraz. So, it worked perfectly for them. I think that really gelled.
There was Baz McCullum who used to hit that. What do they call that?
The Dill scoop.
The Dill scoop. So Tilak Ratne Dilshan, Baz McCullum, one of the finest exponents of it. We saw Sarfaraz do one today. He got it for 4. I think his eyes were shut. I think it was, if you come to me, I'll show you. It was like, it was somewhere like this. He got it for 4. But what, I wouldn't want to see that on a replay if I was Sarfaraz.
They call it the dentist as well.
Yeah, the dentist.
Just in case you get it wrong, you might need the dentist at some stage. But look, he's funky, I would call Sarfaraz, isn't he?
Good word for it.
He's funky. He's all over the ground. He's got all the shots. It's just the timing of when he pulls them out, I think, Ajay. That's what perhaps has been the concern in the past. And I don't mind if we get down to the last 2 or 3 overs and he starts to get a little bit that way and looks for the reverses and the laps and the Dill scoops. No problem with that, because I think he played himself through that innings well enough, got Punjab to a score that they could maybe defend, and then got a little bit funky towards the end. So no issue with that. I thought he played really well today.
Yeah, didn't need the dentist today, but if he's going to play that shot again, might just keep your eyes open, man. Just helps, usually in cricket. What do I know? I've not played it. I have played the MPL super team, though, and if he was in your super team today, that would have worked out really well. Anyway, if you didn't pick him, then you're bad luck. They picked him in place of Karun and has fired. All right. Now, of course, it's up to the Punjab bowlers to defend this. Rajasthan, of course, definitely has the batting to get there. They've got the firepower at the top with Jos Buttler, Ajinkya Rahane, the captain, the kind of guy who will use the fast outfield and the gaps to sort of get some boundaries up front. Steve Smith coming back. They've got the firepower if they have to. I mean, they've got the batting to get 185.
Oh, certainly. I mean, look at those players. I mean, each individual is one of the finest players. Jos Buttler, we've seen last year. Stephen Smith. Ben Stokes can, turn it around at any stage. And Jeffrey Archer all the way at number 8.
Yeah.
So they've got enough batting. They've got a couple of guys who are, real strikers. And then you've got people like Rahane, Stephen Smith, Tripathi. I'm not sure whether they're going to open or not, because I like him only at the opening. I mean, I don't think I've seen him bat in the middle order. And
Pune, he opened. Very good season.
Yeah. So he's one of those, but I doubt with that batting lineup that he's going to open. But Smith and Rahane would probably hold the innings together, and everybody else around them can carry on playing strokes. The advantage that they have on this particular ground and today is this is a big, huge ground. Difficult to defend, especially if you have a fielding side that Kings 11 has. You can, you look at that side and you can easily say this is the weakest not weakest, the slowest fielding side that you have in this year's IPL. You can count, what, 5, 6.
Interesting. Let's pull up the Punjab 11 and you'll see that. We'll see the bowlers as well. And, of course, the point that Ajay makes about the fielders.
Yeah,
there you go.
You start at the top. Chris Gale, Rahul's not going to... Is he...
I think Pooran's going to be keeping.
Yeah, I think
So Rahul, you can add that to the list. Agarwal, okay, I would leave him out. Sarfaraz, join that list. 3. Then you've got who else? Ashwin himself, 4. Mohammad Shami, 5 for sure. And Mujib is also not one of the finest fielders.
Okay,
so you got 6 out of 9 who are going to be in that field. And this is a big, huge outfield.
There's a lot of running.
That.
But also, if you see, they've actually only got 5 bowling options. I mean, unless you get Gale to turn his arm over here, which, I don't know, he doesn't really do that much of it now. They haven't got any options here.
Well, they've gone the Sunrisers way, haven't they? Sorry, Hyderabad way, to just look at 5 bowlers only, and you've got to do the job.
Yeah.
So they're putting the pressure on and saying, we're going to put this onus on you bowlers. You have to bowl your 4 overs. You have to do the job. Sometimes I don't mind that. I don't know whether Sarfaraz can roll his arm over a little bit, whether Chris Gale has bowled much in the last 8 to 12 months or not. I'm not sure. But it is putting some real pressure on those 5 bowlers only to say that. I expect Mujib with the new ball. I think he'll come on and bowl with the new ball. Mohammad Shami was outstanding in New Zealand. Really fought his way almost in line with Bhuvi.
Yeah.
For that Indian slot in the one-day international. So he was brilliant, picking up wickets. He bowled with good pace. He looks very fit to me. And Mike Hesson was really excited about having Shami at Punjab this season. So I'm looking forward to seeing what he can do up front, and maybe Mujib as well. If they can knock 1 or 2 over, put that middle order under pressure with a high score on the board, I think they might have the game.
It's not going to be easy because if Rajasthan does get there, this will be the 2nd highest target chased at this stadium in Jaipur. So we'll definitely have their task cut out for them. One final call before we go. Gentlemen, who are you backing going into this? Now that I have presented you with all the evidence, who are you backing?
It's a tough one. I see not just this game, but for the Chandigarh team or the Punjab team, they will have to be picking up wickets all the way, because with those 6 fielders that I talked about, on a ground like this, if there are wickets in hand, they'll run and get those scores.
Oh, okay.
But when you have picked up wickets and the opposition's under pressure, then the ball only goes to 3-4 fielders. So it'll be a different game. So I think it's 3 wickets in the
first 10?
In the first 10.
So 3 in the first 10 and you say Punjab wins?
Oh, yeah. Because it's a big score. 184 is not a small total.
Okay, 3 in the first 10. What do you say?
Punjab win.
Punjab win.
I don't care how many.
No conditions.
No conditions.
No
Not any
conditions.
conditions.
Okay, so if you're saying Punjab, I'll say Rajasthan. Let's all back somebody or the other.
No problem.
Ajay will always do the half-half thing. Listen, he's a politician. I'm telling you, that's his true calling.
I've noticed.
Yeah.
I was born in a political family, married to another political family. So here I am. Next politician.
Sitting on the throne.
Yeah, and it's the election time.
You're at the right time of the year.
Anywhere the wind blows doesn't really matter to me. I'm going to go now. We're going to see you at the end of the 10th over in Cricbuzz Combox. Big thank you to Ajay Jadeja and Simon Doull. Big thank you to all of you. Thank you for joining us. This was MPL Presents Cricbuzz Live. Oh, well, see us soon. Yeah, we will.